Hey y'all, it's Molly with Minnie Acres, and it's kind of early in the morning. I have not done a garden tour before work before, but I really wanted to go ahead and get this done because this weekend we are expecting a tropical storm of some sort. Today's June 18th, I think. Anyway, let's take a look at the garden. Okay, so a lot has changed. It's been like a month since I showed y'all the garden. So let me come up here and stand in the corner. For new people that are watching, I'm in Northwest Florida Zone 8, A-ish, B-ish. Okay, so I'm standing in the corner. And of course I'm growing a lot of weeds. I'm a weed farmer, as it were. I planted a bunch of those black oil sunflower seeds in this row. And then I have corn in this row, those two rows, and I tried one the other day and I think it's as done as it's gonna be. I need to check and see how many days it's actually been, but it's tasseled and everything, looking like it's ready. And so I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and just pick what's there. Probably just feed it to the chickens. That was my first attempt at growing corn. I also already harvested a bunch of flowers out here because I wanted the zinnias to keep producing more flowers. So I cut a bunch of them, but you can see also some of my mammoth sunflowers that I got from Celtic Roots Farm. They're growing up. So out here, the things that I really want to show you are how great my pumpkins and squash and watermelons are doing. Now I came out here last night. I'd been doing really well to squish every time I found a squash bug and was finding, you know, one or two at a time, or I was squishing their eggs. I came out here last night and there was a family reunion going on one plant. And I'm not sure if that's part of the reason that some of these plants are dying. But yeah, finding that family reunion, that's pretty tough. So this is my Connecticut field pumpkin plant. And look, I've never been able to grow pumpkins before, so I'm really crossing my fingers these plants live long enough for my fruit to get ripe. And then I think this is my Seminole pumpkin. And I don't see any fruit on this one, but it's got some blooms. I tried really hard to keep these guys separated, but we had like one good rain the other day and they just all became a tangled mess, and now who knows what is what in here. So these are butternut squash plants that I got from Abby at Abby's Life on the Farm, and I started them inside and then transplanted them out here, and they're looking really healthy. So I hope they have time to grow and maybe give me a couple of fruit. From when the chickens were out here, there's corn growing, and I just left it just to see what happens. Let's see here. This plant was like my pride and joy for a while, and now it's sickly in a couple more spots. This is my spaghetti squash. This is my sugar pie pumpkin, where one branch died back, but I thought maybe the rest of the plant would make it, and now I'm thinking the rest of the plant is gonna die. And there's stinking bug. Y'all know what I learned about these squash bugs? I've mentioned before having to deal with stink bugs, and somebody said, oh, well, stink bugs are just a version of a squash bug. Well, I was like, well, how can y'all stand to squish them because they smell so bad? Well, if you've never squished a stink bug, but you have squished a squash bug, then you don't know the stink of a stink bug. Because I was squishing squash bugs, and they smell sweet, almost fruity, and that's messed up. But it does make them easier to squish. And I see, look at that. You see that whole family? You see that whole family of them back there? Oh, your time is coming, buddy. I'm coming back for y'all. Y'all just hang on. Okay, so now we've got melons. This little melon, I didn't think it was gonna make it. And I'm glad that I did plant zinnias with all of my melons and squash, because it helped me be able to find the base of the plants. What are you? This is a sugar baby. This is my kabocha squash. And look, there's some cantaloupes in there. Not cantaloupes, honeydew melons. Can you see those in there? And over there is a watermelon. I believe that's my Georgia rattlesnake watermelon. That's exciting. Hey guys, thanks for coming to join me. So I guess I'll go ahead and show you this whole area. So you'll notice the chickens are gone and their houses are gone. And I have a nice collection of cardboard I've got to start spreading out here so that I can use this space, but I need to at least get it covered so that the weeds don't come back. Hello. Psst, 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 psst. Good morning, Bubbers. Now we are walking over to the main garden. It's been quite a while since we've done a tour, so I'm not really sure what I've missed sharing with y'all, and I'm hopefully just gonna at least hit the highlights today. So you can see the chickens and geese are now in their new home. Oh, I need to show y'all. So before I moved them, hey ladies, before I moved them, Marie, the goose, she had started setting on her eggs, which she only had one goose egg and a bunch of chicken eggs. I want to go show y'all this. Well, I think I told y'all about Rosie, the chicken, that her first mess of eggs. Good morning, good morning. Rosie's eggs didn't hatch, but she wouldn't break her brood, so I gave her goose eggs. They hatched, but then they both died. But thankfully, my husband had bought me some baby chicks at Tractor Supply, and they were 4 days old. I put them under her, she adopted them, and now if you go anywhere near her, she will cut you. She is a fierce mama. But I want to show you what I did with Marie's chicken eggs she was sitting on. Sir, you've already had breakfast. The kitchen is closed. So this is Desdemona. Desi was already going broody for about a week before I got ready to move them, and so I really didn't care if these eggs got hatched or not. So I thought I'd just give it a try and see if she would continue sitting on them for Marie, and sure enough, she is a very faithful mama, and we'll see if any of these eggs hatch. Now, the only reason that I decided to even attempt to hatch those eggs is because the daddy to those babies is little Fred. Now, I hate little Fred's guts. He knows it. And, but the only thing I'm hoping is that maybe some of their children will have traits from his father, the original Fred, who y'all know is the mascot of our little farm, and he was the best rooster that ever lived. May he rest in peace. All right, let's look at the garden. Okay, there's the garden. Hot Mess Express. Ta-da! Just kidding. So, I've been harvesting a lot of beans, and I actually made some dilly beans. If you've never made dilly beans, definitely give it a try. They are like pickles. They're so good. Got some more flowers that are blooming. These are the Queen Lime Blush, and I'm addicted. The berries, Crazy Cherry, just keeps putting on fruit like crazy, but they're not my favorite. I'm not that crazy about them. And look, we've got tomato hornworms. I have a really great story to tell y'all about that. I found a couple out here and squished them and gave them to the chickens. The Sun Golds, these are my pride and joy. I harvested a bunch of tomatoes yesterday in the evening because I wanted to be sure to get as much as I could before it starts raining. I don't know when it's going to start raining today. Loofah gourd finally taken off. And do you see this is a hot mess. These tomatoes are just taking over. That's the little brat of a sweet pea currant tomato. I'm going to grow it again though. I really like it, but next time I'm going to give it more space to do what it wants to do. They're really cute, but it's kind of a bully around all these other plants. And then let's see if we can go up without getting dizzy. Let's go up this arch. I've got birdhouse gourds. The first blooms, they all were females and they didn't get pollinated, and so they all died. But it looks like finally we had some get pollinated, and I've got a few little gourds coming on, which is great. But I don't know if you've ever grown a birdhouse gourd. Their leaves are so soft. This might be softer than lamb's ear. And their flowers are so pretty. I don't see one I can show you though. Probably gonna rip all these beans out soon, but I'm not ready to put something in their place yet, so they can just stay there and hold down the weeds for now. Hey bud. My pepper plants are finally starting to grow and put off. These Buena mulatas are super hot. We've been giving them away. More tomatoes that are just, this is where my sick tomatoes are, and I'm harvesting what I can before I pull these plants. Again, that's another thing, I'm going to pull the plants whenever I'm ready to put something else in their place. The Chinese noodle beans have finally started taking off. I just have 3 little plants. And on this arch, my Malabar spinach is taken off. I transplanted some from different spots, so it's intermingled, the red and the green. And I've harvested a few leaves, and that seems to have helped them actually start growing more. And also, I've been researching flowers, and these are not bachelor's buttons. These are gomphrena. For anyone who already knew that was laughing at me calling them bachelor buttons, I know better now, so. Looks like we might have some daisies opening soon. And see, tons of blooms on these peppers. I've been harvesting cayenne peppers to dry and make a powder. And the same with the Chinese 5-color peppers. Those we've been giving away. Hey Diana, please come in here and eat some slugs and snails for me. Get it, girl. Come on in. It's been so hot and dry, and I think that's part of why, like, this catnip plant is dying in the middle, and there had been an ant bed in there. It's very possible there's another ant infestation. Hey, don't you eat my blueberries. Sarah. Busted. You naughty turkey. Diana. Okay. Here we have rattlesnake pole beans. And I actually got a couple of beans off of the trellis last night. Growing them up an arch trellis is interesting because, let's see if you can see. I can't reach. So growing them up an arch trellis might not have been the best idea. I'm gonna have to remember that for next time. This is a hot mess. This cucumber plant, this one hasn't been giving me very many cucumbers. And these beans are not making yet, but they are starting. Oh, that's the lie. Look at that. Look at that bean just hanging on out there. Look at that. What's been eating my bean plant? Those pretty little blooms. Can you see the pretty blooms? I don't know. I have successfully been growing dill, which I used for my dilly beans, so that was fun to be able to use my own fresh dill for that recipe. Borage is a big baby, like very pretty plant, but also gets sick and dies very quickly and easily. Like not getting enough rain, it just gives up. So I've harvested a lot of tomatoes, but you can see the plants are getting sick. I've been cutting them back hard, desperately trying to keep them alive. Buddy, you're being lovable today. My sweet peppers, they've been putting on too. I did get tricked by a banana pepper though. It was supposed to be sweet. It was not sweet. I will not fall for that again. I'm done playing games with my banana peppers. They did this to me last year and I will not fall for it again. But these corbachis are sweet. Finally got some Kajari melons to germinate, and so these are my sad little plants, but they're trying their best. that one little Tigger melon is still there. And then I put, okay, my brain doesn't remember what these are right now. I'm not sure. These might be my tromboncino squash. I don't know. We'll find out together, won't we? My zucchini just can't get a break. I don't know if I'm going to get any zucchini this year because the plants are just not doing well. I discovered this little family of wasps making a home inside the bell of this little decoration in my garden. And I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to bother them unless they bother me. We have a mutual understanding, don't we, ladies? That's right, Sarah. Look at my Love in a Mist flowers. They look amazing. And then I've got broomcorn. Y'all, what do I do with it? It's supposed to be good to put in flower arrangements, but it's tall. It's way up there. Okay, my pink oxheart. They are getting bigger. They just need time. Look at this Dr. Witchy's. He is massive. And then here's my cat face tomato I showed y'all a while back. I don't want to move him too much. I don't want to break him, but he's giant. Is a triple crop. So I've had a few tomato sandwiches, and I think it was a Jubilee and a Dr. Witchy's. They weren't as big as they could be, but they tasted great. So I have managed to have a couple of tomato sandwiches so far this season. I'm trying really hard to save suckers off of a few plants, but here's what happened. I went into the laundry room where I had the suckers under grow lights in water, getting them to root, and I saw tomato hornworm poop, but I couldn't find the worm. A few days later, the plants were looking sad, and my little miniature Birdie Rouge micro dwarf plant that I had been babying was completely eaten, completely destroyed. So I was looking, couldn't find the worm. Well, later that day, my son told me that he saw a big fat tomato hornworm just walking out of the laundry room into the house like he owned the place. So he squished him for me. So there's that. So I'm starting over, trying to root some new suckers, but I was very careful to do double and triple check for eggs this time and made sure that nothing is going to hatch on my suckers while I'm trying to baby them, so that if these tomatoes all fall victim to this crazy weather and it just getting too hot for them, then maybe I'll have some fall tomatoes. Somebody really needs to cut the grass. So I've got some strawberries. The plants are just, they're done. Peppers over there that really need to be transplanted out. Those beans are hanging in there. I don't know. My little cucamelons, though, they're finally starting to take off, but I'm trying to guide them over to this fence. This little garden, y'all, I'm learning more stuff about flowers, and I absolutely should not have tried to plant the calendula and the poppies and the snapdragons in the heat. Those are something that should not have been planted in the heat. So that's another reason they didn't come up. Obviously, you see all the grass coming up. And I'm pretty sure that's a weed. I don't think that's my chives actually coming up, but still waiting for my ginger and turmeric to do something. This lavender is still alive. I told y'all I killed my thyme. Leeks, these bunching onions. Look at that. Who are you, sir? Who are you? My variegated basil is looking kind of sad. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Swiss chard looking amazing. And then look at this. I don't know if that's ginger or turmeric. I'm not going to dig it up to see, but I had planted both of them in this spot. So I'm glad something's coming up along with all those weeds. That might be my tromboncino squash. I'm not sure. My tromboncino did germinate, but my cucuzzi. My cucuzzi did not germinate. I have to start over on those. I have a new lavender. Isn't she gorgeous? And I also have a begonia. Those were gifts from my son's girlfriend for my birthday because she's the only person who loves me and knows what I like. Hey, little bumblebee, going to town. I just stuck this in one of my hanging baskets and put it under this tree because I'm pretty sure they like shade. So far, it seems pretty happy here. I need to harvest some oregano. It's going crazy. And my crazy flower bed, it's just too packed full of everything. It's mostly basil, it looks like at this point. And I've been cutting some of the zinnias, and it has helped them be a little healthier and put on some bigger, stronger flowers too. There's a lot of seed pods on my asparagus, and these, I really want to move these plants over to where I would like to have a permanent asparagus bed, but I have a feeling even if I do, I'm always going to have asparagus coming up in this spot just because it's just going to keep dropping seeds and growing right here. But that's okay, but I still do want to try to move them, and I might try collecting the seeds. I probably missed some stuff, but those are definitely the highlights of what's going on in the garden right now. It's a hot mess express, but I'm going to start some more seeds. I'm going to try to regrow some stuff that I think still has time because we have such a long season. And I'm also going to show y'all what I'm going to do over there where I've got to cover it all up with cardboard. That'll be coming up in my next video probably. Then I'm going to tell y'all what my plans are, my evil plans. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope y'all are having a great day. Hope your gardens are growing well, and I'll talk to you later. Love y'all. Bye.